Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, aviators, aviation enthusiasts, welcome again to Future Pilot 901. My name is D. Needless to say, since the last time I posted an episode, a lot's happened. How about we have a catch up?
After nearly about 4 months of having not flown, after only having one lesson in 8 months, I'm back. I'm back, yo. I'm back, baby. Hey!
How does it feel to be back? Good?
Yeah, feels good. It's been a while.
To line up.
Ever since I was a kid, I had a dream of becoming a pilot, but could never afford it. One day I decided to stop making excuses, to sacrifice my comfort, to make my dream happen. My name is D, and this is my journey. This is Future Pilot 901. I took time off flying to focus on my theory exams.
I took the exam. It was challenging, to say the least. I had about 5 questions where I was like, I'm not so sure. This has been asked in a different way than what I'm used to. What's the answer? And then I went back and I got the answers and kind of was feeling quite confident at the end of it. And then basically, once you're done with all your exams, they kind of give you a paper that they fill in a paper that you've done these exams on these dates. And then you will use that paper to apply for your license. And the lady at the desk said to me, I can't give it to you until I know you've passed. I can't check it. Can you go and check? So I came out to check how I did. 75%. Guess what's the pass mark? 75%. That was, if ever there was such a thing as scraping through the last one, that was it. It was nuts. Absolutely crazy. But so to me, that tells me I've got to do a bit more work really on navigation and being more confident with that. To be honest, I did kind of rush it a little bit because I wanted to get the exams done within a certain time, giving myself a month spare. But it just means I need to work on it a bit more, which is cool. I'm going to be working on that. But it also means I don't have to take another exam. It also means I'm done. I'm done with the theory exams.
Flying planes is like any other skill, if you don't use it, you lose it. So it's almost impossible to have had all that time off without having some level of skill fade. But I'm not the type to back out from an impossible challenge. If I was, then I wouldn't even be on this journey. So I told my instructor that I wanted to be better in this lesson than I was in the last one. In particular, I was thinking about takeoff, radio calls, general handling, and the toughest of all, landing.
Northwood Radio, Wild 01, Cessna 152, apron 2, 2 persons on board requesting airfield information for local flight to the east.
Wild 01, Northwood Radio, runway use 02, left-hand circuit, QNH 1022.
02 left-hand circuit, QNH 1022, Wild 01.
It was so good to be back with my main flight instructor. I took the chance to ask some questions and clarify some things.
So I had a question on taxiing, right? Because I've been accused of taxiing too fast.
Clear
So
right,
that's too fast.
clear ahead.
So to right, ahead, and then left.
Clear left.
Especially when there are other aircrafts around. But taxiing should be on the fast walking pace.
But then I'm thinking about having the RPM not too low.
Golf Charlie,
So,
Zulu, surface wind
is this okay?
3010 knots.
Yeah,
I see what you mean. You'd obviously prioritise the speed over the engine. One thing you can do, of course, is lean the mixture for taxiing. The threat with having the revs too low is that the lead additive in the fuel doesn't burn because it doesn't achieve the correct temperature. So that lead, instead of burning, it just goes on the spark plugs. It means when you come to the magneto check, you can get a rough running engine. So you can just lean the mixture by about an inch for taxiing. That's a nice way of doing it. So you can just twist it to the left. You can do it now if you like. That's it, yeah, just twist it until it comes out by about an inch. The only caveat being, make sure it goes in before the power checks.
Request instructions. 10 knots.
That's it. Then it shouldn't foul up the engine. Now, the risk when leaning the mixture is detonation at this power setting. It just isn't going to happen. If you lean it by half an inch, it's not going to make much difference.
Roger.
There's a million different schools of thought on how to do it, so...
02 left hand for Q91.
Other schools of thought include just riding the brakes, but I'm not that keen on that. Or leaving it at idle and then just clearing out the engine every 30 seconds with a burst of power. There's different ways of doing it. How did you get on fixing your car?
Oh yeah, it took me a few months, but got it done. The engine's been alright so far.
Nice.
Yeah, can't complain too much.
Nice.
There's a whole other issues with the company that did it, but...
Many thanks.
At this point, I'm feeling pretty good. My first radio call was smooth, confident, and then this happened.
Wheel 01 is at Bravo 1. At Bravo 1, we'd like to back up to the RP, please.
Pluto 1, nothing to fetch your backtrack to RP.
Roger, backtracking, Wheel 01.
Well, you knew what you meant.
I know the guys in the tower would have been ripping me to absolute shreds for that one. And the best part is, not only did they hear my mess up, but everyone on frequency would have heard. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, the last time it was raining and we got here, we had to abort.
Was that us, was it? Was that for a... Yeah, I think I remember that.
On the PA28.
Yeah, it was really raining, I think, yeah. Poor visibility. And wheeled radio from wheel 12.
Golf message.
You got an estimate on the visibility from the tower?
It's got 5k or less.
Okay, thanks very much. 5k or less, back we go.
Roger.
That was when the right main gear kept collapsing as well, or the left main gear, whichever one it was.
Northfield radio, Golf Bravo, Kilo, Kilo, Papa. Golf Bravo, Kilo, Kilo, Papa, Northfield radio.
A380 up there.
Hey, hello.
What do you think?
Northfield, hello, Golf.
What do you think the threat could be with all this water we've got outside?
Icing.
Yeah, particularly carb icing, isn't it? So I'll just pull the carby for us. Ideally, you wouldn't use it on the ground, but we're way below that green arc. We won't take off with it on, obviously, but we'll sit there with it on for a couple of minutes.
Roger.
So the shower's over there, the wind's in that direction. You can see the wind's already dying down. It's passing. We're going out there. It looks lovely. Finally, nothing's settled there. Peter heat's on. I'm happy.
Super.
You happy?
Yep.
Cool. You can put the carpet away and do your thing.
So,
Bravo, Kilo, Kilo.
on one of my last circuits, I think I pushed...
You pushed the squelch.
I think that's what happened.
Ah, with the
and
radio
I had a loud
problem.
noise and it was so annoying.
Wheel 12. Okay. Often in these aeroplanes, it's often either the nav audio is turned up and you've turned up the wrong one, or you've got the squelch selected. Yeah.
Interesting.
Takeoff is not as challenging as landing, but you still have to be awake.
Heels to the floor. 1. Takeoff power sets. Airspeed is alive. T's and P's in the green. 50 knots. 55 rotates. And let's trim for 65.
I was pretty happy with that, pretty smooth. And the best part is my instructor never had to do or say anything. Landing was a different story. I had a last second go around after ballooning in the flare. When it comes to analysing the landing, I really like Jason Miller's approach.
5 phases of landing. If you divide your landing up into 5 phases, it allows you to be a little bit more granular about where you're doing well and where you're not.
So let's get granular. Now, full disclaimer, I am not a flight instructor. I'm just a private pilot trying to learn from his mistakes. With that said, phase 1, the approach. My speed management was good. The main mistake I made in the approach was I didn't have my aiming point on lock. Although my speed management was fairly good, I ended up too high and had to lose that height quite quickly right at the end. Whereas if I had my aiming point, I would have corrected that a lot sooner. As you can see at this point, I was doing 80 knots and my descent rate increased. Phase 2, the round out. I thought my round out was pretty good, the timing was good, and at this point, the only thing that I had to do was continue flying level. But I still had that extra energy going into the round out. Phase 3, the flare. Well, this is where the rubber meets the road, or where the rubber is just about to meet the road. Because I had the extra energy, that would mean that the plane would float along the runway a lot longer before touchdown. So the issue at this point, I think, is that I was a bit too impatient and flared too much too quick, which meant that instead of losing airspeed, I picked up more altitude, and then of course I freaked out. Generally, the advice is to increase power in the time that it takes you to say 1, 2, 3. So I should have done that a lot smoother than I did, but I think because I was out of practice, I kind of freaked out.
Back, baby. Back, baby.
How does it feel to be back? Good? Oh, okay, you ready? So, go around.
Base.
So, cool, okay, you ready? Engine failure.
Looking at the brown field.
Perhaps turn base at the same point, but instead of making a downwind super narrow, make the downwind slightly wider.
It's a lot easier on this flight sim.
I'm sure, yeah. They're quite good fun, these, aren't they, aside from the learning objectives. They are quite a good laugh.